Is there a down that you thought you will not recover from?
COVID wave 1, cash flows came down to like zero. We could not really process it on how long this is going to last. And so those 2 months were horrible. Zetwerk is a company which converts this engineering drawing or a design into a physical product.
Is there an opportunity big enough for Zetwerk to become a $100 billion company?
After 7 years of building, we still realize, a lot more build is still left. So what AI is doing is it's making the power demand go up multi-fold thing. We think this is a multi-decadal opportunity. The pain point that we are addressing, is that real or not? SaaS felt to us like a rich man's problem. We want to solve core problems for our customers.
Why Amrit?
So we know each other's strengths, weaknesses, blind spots. Sometimes I can be a very impulsive thinker. If I look back at my own 7-8 years as an entrepreneur, it's ridden with lots of self-doubt. It is a lonely journey.
When you were growing up, it seems that you were comfortable in a structured environment more than a chaotic environment.
Childhood was very structured. Every day would look the same.
What is a Srinath under extreme pressure? What does it do to your thinking?
Mind is on steroids. Plan A, Plan B, Plan C.
Do you think it is more difficult for optimists to admit of mistakes they make?
The downs have actually taught me more things than the ups.
If you were 24-year-old, if you wanted to get into manufacturing, what are the 3-4 options you would look at?
I would look at first IP-driven manufacturing. Quite often, entrepreneurs make this mistake of they get obsessed with the solutions that they are building.
If Zetwerk is the last entrepreneurial journey that you are doing, what would complete that journey for you? How to build a manufacturing business. This is a very non-journalistic interview. We are trying to understand how it works, what is your mental model. Two bottles more is fine. So while we have cooled the branding, ये branding हटवा दिया.
प्रिया में किसी का फायदा हो रहा था.
I think you have to keep it this side. Yeah, all 3 cameras. What you eventually become professionally has to do with how you shape up as a human being as well.
Correct.
Would you typically agree with that?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if I look back at my own 7-8 years as an entrepreneur, it's ridden with lots of self-doubt. There are a lot of, it is a lonely journey. Sometimes you do take big decisions and nobody can lie that, oh no, they were 200% confident about the decisions that they made or the choices that they executed, right? So yeah, so I have an interesting perspective, and I'll try and share my own life short experiences.
Have you done something like this before?
No.
No?
No.
Yeah.
But with Amrit, a bunch of things, but solo, no.
No, solo, no. I saw your interview with Shirin.
That happened here only on the
3rd floor.
second floor. Yeah.
Old friend, worked together also. I know the most amazing journalist I've ever met.
He was also very hard work.
Very hardworking.
Yeah.
So you have been traveling from US to
Dubai to Chennai to Bangalore.
US for
work. So I was at 5 different cities on 5 days.
Right.
And then flew out of Houston.
Okay.
Had a connecting flight to Chennai.
Right.
Because of late arrival of flight, ended up missing that flight.
Hmm.
And then took a taxi to Abu Dhabi airport
Hmm.
and found another flight 4 hours later, which ended.
Interesting. And how often do you do this?
6-7 times a year, US, and 3-4 times a year, Europe.
Right. If you were at an airport and if the flight is extremely delayed and you start getting to talk to somebody sitting beside you waiting in the lounge, how would you introduce yourself?
I can tell you, I met one YouTuber at Abu Dhabi airport, and I seen a bunch of videos. And initially, I was not very sure if he's the same person or not. Then I just walked up to him because this guy put one crazy video which went virally where he puts up big banners for Mr. Beast in Tamil Nadu, in Chennai, and multiple places. So went and basically we started a conversation with him on how did you do that and why did this idea come to you?
And how did you introduce yourself?
Nothing. I'm your subscriber.
Okay.
Yeah. So I have seen a couple of your videos and found this interesting. So wanted to talk about it.
Right.
So if the person asks what I do, I say I into manufacturing.
Okay. You don't talk about Zetwerk. You don't.
Unless the person is very curious,
Uh-huh.
I would not really tell. I mean, see, a lot of people find what we do not very interesting, and there are young entrepreneurial kids who find the entrepreneurial aspect of what we do interesting.
Right.
But say if I catch you at a lounge and start talking about design and manufacturing of paquet vessels, unless you are from the industry, yeah. So that's why
Right.
don't like to bore people with a lot of nuances of what we do.
And if you have to help the same person understand what Zetwerk does, how would you explain that to him?
Very simple. Imagine any product. The product will have a design. Zetwerk is a company which converts this engineering drawing or a design into a physical product. So, and how do we do that? We have a network of manufacturing facilities and with whom we partner, and we convert these paper designs into physical products. There is a quality angle to it. There is a timeliness angle to it. There is a customer service angle to it. And then there is a being reliable angle to it. And Zetwerk is striving to become a go-to reliable platform where people convert their ideas into physical products.
Quickly summarizing who our audience are, they are people who are young, who are also hungry, are aspiring entrepreneurs, or are in their entrepreneurial journey, early to mid stage, professionals working with startups or large enterprises who want to understand frameworks. So, this episode is to help them make less mistakes in their uh, entrepreneurial journey and their professional journey. Since you mentioned about last 7-8 years, when you started Zetwerk, was there something in particular that you were chasing? Freedom, validation, anything else?
No, I think the purpose behind why we exist really excited me. And that purpose was a belief in the Indian manufacturing ecosystem, right? I mean, we read about it. Otherwise, I've also read about it. Oh, yeah, India manufacturing contributes to only 13-14% of our GDP. How can that grow to 20%, 25% of the GDP? The first level of wealth creation in our country was led by services industry, right?
Mm-hmm.
The problem or the opportunity with manufacturing is this can really go to tier 3, tier 4 towns, and jobs are all here, right? I mean, the services sector can create jobs were in Bombay, Pune, Delhi, Bangalore, Chennai. But India needs much, much, much more uh, for people to be gainfully employed, for people to en masse come out of poverty, and for livelihoods to significantly go up.
Right.
It is manufacturing which played a big role in China, right? And it'll happen for 20, 25 straight years.
Right.
And you see what the country has become today.
Right.
So I'm an optimist like every other entrepreneur is. And we thought, yeah, it can happen in India as well. And can we build a company that is at if not at the forefront, can it positively catalyze this change that is happening and will happen in the next 20 years?
Right. Conversation with you there is a lot of deja vu that is happening to me. My grandfather, who passed away a couple of years ago, he was an engineer. He headed Shriram Ball Bearings. He was a precision engineer. I used to go with him to the factory. He passed out from Shibpur Engineering College,
Nice.
and he had an entire tools room to himself, and he believed in India manufacturing a lot. Somehow that got lost, and that optimism that you are talking about,
Right.
and I also think that India has not lost its manufacturing moment. If I have to deep dive a little on your today, how do you typically spend your day? Like, you are also a husband, you're also a father.
Yeah, but today it's mostly work. It's 90% work, lots of travel, lots of meeting people, both within India, also outside of India. Try and catch up on the father role and the husband role over a weekend. And what I do is just spend lots of private time with family, and don't end up like going to places, meeting people, but just having a few hours of private time, having real conversations on what's happening. It's very refreshing. It's very rejuvenating.
Do you have a father-son moment?
So I take my son on a Sunday morning for his cricket class. Okay, so we go cycling and I go walking next to him.
Right.
So then we have some conversations on what is he up to, what his friends are up to what does he like cricket at all, what how does he find his score, all of those.
Does he like cricket?
He's really into cricket now.
So my daughter is 7-year-old, and my morning ritual, the first thing I get up from the bed is to drop her to school. So I am usually a late sleeper. I sleep around 2:30. I get up at 7:45, and that is my conversation moment with her, and that is where we do a lot of catch up. That 20 minutes that I spend with her every day.
Nice.
I think it's a beautiful start to the day as well.
Correct.
Children do
I
something.
miss those weekday moments with my son because I travel like 3 to 4 days a week.
Correct.
But on that odd day when I'm home, my wife actually leaves early. She's a teacher, so she leaves before my son to old age. So I am there on a weekday, basically dressing him up, and he has his breakfast, and then I say bye to school.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Interesting. You also mentioned that you do not go out much. You like to spend that private moment because work takes so much of your time.
Yeah.
Do you have a lot of friends?
Not a lot of friends, but I'd had like a limited group which has been around for a long time, and they are my go-to people. Good times, bad times, also having fun. So So yeah, so that group has stayed constant.
And what is fun for you?
Fun is definitely watching a good movie in a packed theater.
Okay.
And I watch all kind of movies. I watch that Hindi films. I watch commercial potboilers, and so yeah. So there is. I'm definitely not a artistic person, but I like hanging out with artistic people, having long conversations about their journeys, and that I find that really fascinating.
Does that fulfill certain part of your life? Is it an intellectual fulfillment or something else? Is it a learning of different kind?
It is intellectual fulfillment, we can call it, or and curious. I mean, their process of making art. Let's say there was a vocalist I was talking to a couple of months back, and how they practice and how they. And some of these people are very passionate, and the or like a 2 hour show, the number of hours of practice they put into is enormous. And so I find that learning about their process of devoting themselves to the art they make, I find it very, very fascinating.
Hmm. So, when you wake up in the morning, uh, you said that you spend that little bit of time that you can with your son, but what is the first work thing that you do in the morning? So, typically for me, it is once I've come back home after dropping my daughter, I open my mail and check my mails. That is the first thing I do. So, do you have a work ritual first thing in the morning, work ritual?
I actually try and not do a work thing in the morning. Um, so I either hit the gym or go for a run. And even when I run, I don't try to think about work. I try to listen to a podcast or listen to a nice music, and I try to have a very clean start to the day. And I typically, and I'm like a work from office kind of a person. I don't like sitting at home alone, staring at the computer, doing calls. Uh, I like being around people. That's what energizes me. And so I try to typically come to office early and have like a 45-minute or a 1 hour me time. At that time is when I typically start thinking about work and designing priorities for myself for the day, for the week, etc. 80% of the times it tends to be like this.
What if you didn't have your smartphone for a day? What would happen to you on that day?
It's yeah, when my wife tells me I'm addicted to my phone, one habit that I need to do less of. I get a lot of work done on the phone, get a lot of calls done on the phone. Most of my to-do notes are on my phone. Most of my meeting notes are on the phone. So yeah, a lot of work and life revolves around phone. And when it's not there, I also like writing.
You have a pad.
Like I have a pad. I have Amrit and my other folks here keep making fun. कितना लिखता है तू?
बहुत
So
लिखते हो?
I like. I mean, it's about some people. The thinking and validation process for me is when I write, or when I'm attending a meeting. I try to take notes. So yeah, and maybe it's stuck with it from a long time, and so yeah, I would go back to my notes. I think I can still function without a phone. It would be hard, but maybe the first day is going to be hard, and second day you adapt.
True. Okay. So yeah, I'm asked not to look here and there when people are crossing by.
Haja.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, okay, fine. Coming back to what part of your life is stable right now and what part of your life is volatile?
Interesting question. Um, I think my health routine is stable. Uh, 10 years back, I didn't know what to eat, what not to eat. Uh, the concept of calories did not exist in my life. Uh, watching watching for your own physical health did not exist 10 years back. Now I think that part is stable. Despite like I travel 20 days a month. Despite that, I think it's only, 10 years back, I also used to complain. We so much travel, it's very hard to stick to a routine and all of that. But now, despite everything that's happening, that part is definitely stable. Uh, everything, a lot of work is definitely volatile. I mean, again, there are different parts of work, right? So there is a part of work which is still stable, which is day-to-day operations of all of our mature categories. We have fantastic people. Mostly, I need by exceptions, but otherwise, there is a lot of new things that are also happening, which are volatile.
Is volatility is also evolving in nature? Do you think so? So as in 5 years ago, what was volatile, and today what is volatile, and tomorrow what will be volatile? Is that also evolving?
Correct. I think 5 years back, definitely the things that were volatile were day-to-day ops in nature, right? Or PMF itself was an evolving concept. Product market fit itself was are we really, there would be weekly questions on, uh, are we doing the right thing? Is this the right category that we are focusing on? So those things don't exist now. Things that are volatile now are definitely long-term way to play choices, right? Capital allocation priorities. So these are things that are occupying the volatility space now.
So you met Amrit in college. I do not want to go into how you guys started up, or who connected whom. All of that is in multiple conversations. But I just want to understand a little bit, why Amrit? Why not anybody else? What was special about that relationship you had? And why is this important if you have to build longevity in an enterprise or in a startup?
Me and Amrit go back a long way. Right, so 2006, we both joined college from different cities, right? He joins from Bhubaneswar, I joined from Chennai, and we met at IIT Madras. We were in the same hostel, and he was, of course, in electrical engineering degree. I did my mechanical engineering degree. We did there are multiple shared experiences, right? So which really, that's how relationship gets cemented, right? So we've done a student exchange program together. So we both went to Singapore. We did a lot of extracurricular activities there together. Then we started our first jobs together. So we kind of know each other's strengths, weaknesses, blind spots. He kind of knows in and out कहाँ पे मैं struggle करूँगा. I kind of know कहाँ पे वो struggle करेगा. And beyond all of that objectivity, there is blind trust on each other's capabilities, right? That feeling of he'll have my back, and me having that complete confidence on he'll have my back. That got cemented when we met, right? So when 2017 December is when Amrit returned from US, and we meet. And I was actually happy in another startup called Blackbuck, where I was working for Rajesh Yabaji and a fantastic founding team there. I was very happy. I was like, IPO तक किधर रुकूंगा, and उसके बाद सोचूंगा आगे क्या करना है. Kind of a mindset पे मैं था. And then Amrit comes back, and then we generally hang out. I was like, bhai, why did you come back from US? We like, बस काफी फोमो हो रहा था यार उधर. फोमो हो रहा था.
किस चीज का?
so much happening. I mean, Amrit even today tells me, I felt I left India at the wrong time. And there's so much going on in India right now, and I think I need to be back here. And he kind of liked that I was in the middle of
That excitement
already.
culture of building a startup.
Yeah, and of course, even when he was in US,
Right.
I've had multiple conversations with him on what I'm up to here and things like that. So it was only natural. I didn't feel like we were selecting each other as a partner for a next big gig. So it felt very organic. I think that feeling organic becomes important.
Right.
But naturally, see what's the other element is complementarity. So if you look at me and Amrit, we are like chalk and cheese. So we are very different human beings, right? But that complementarity stitched with strong trust and the conviction on each other's capabilities, I think it's a good combination.
Quickly, how are you guys different? If you have to draw 3 strengths of Amrit and 3 strengths of yours, and maybe a couple of weaknesses of both.
So let me tell you, comfort zones, dealing with a lot of, working with a lot of people and interacting with grassroots level people. Also, building a big team is very. I've always been a people's person. I've always thrived in working in large teams, and so that is something that's my comfort zone. Amrit's comfort zone would be, he's definitely a numbers guy. He's a bottom-up thinker. He double clicks and triple clicks on things organically. Sometimes I get carried away in the heat of the moment. So, I mean, sometimes I can be a very impulsive thinker. It feels right, then go for it. There is a bias to action is crazy for me. अरे सोच लिया तो करना है, सुबह सोच लिया तो शाम में
होना चाहिए.
होना चाहिए. क्यों नहीं हो रहा है? So that restless, I'm a restless guy. But he's like, he's complete, Amrit is completely okay if that thing does not get done that day. He's okay to think about it, ruminate for 2 more days and come back with, have you thought about it in this angle kind of thing. So he can be patient. I can be very impatient.
What if they were both of co-founders were similar to you? What would have happened?
See, I mean, it's initial days, पता नहीं चलेगा आपको. Right. This gets tested when there is a struggle. And we've had both good runs, home runs, and struggles. And so that's when both of you are very similar, like say, Q is also as impulsive as me. Then when you make mistakes, you don't realize it then, right? So, or you don't tend to avoid mistakes also, right? So that's that maker checker mechanism automatically ho jata hai when there are two people with complementary skill sets.
Is that very important for a startup? If there is a
I think it
co-founding
is
team?
very important. Even today, when I meet early stage startup founders, first thing I ask them is this question. And I mean, bunch of people have also built their own startups after their stints at Zetwerk. They all understand the importance. They've all seen us in action. They all, at least the folks inside Zetwerk, know that the value of complementarity and having different people combine their forces in taking one common decision. But what unites is common purpose, putting company first, right? That's how differences get easily resolved.
Right.
So the completely similar people building something, short term easy hai, long term challenges आएगा is what I feel. The very different people together, short term challenges होगा. You will have to work to navigate your working styles. But long term, I think it's fantastic value addition for.
Have you guys had on the floor fights?
Not in the. I mean, Amrit. I mean, you've not met Amrit, but when you meet him, he's not.
No, fights as in disagreement when one of the person just walks off and saying, "Yeah, मुझे नहीं करना है."
Early months, yes. Like the first 2018, 3-4 months, I used to be very impulsive back then. उनके ये supplier onboarding ऐसे करना है मतलब ऐसे करना है.
अच्छा.
And I was not used to getting challenged easily. And but yeah, so that, like I said, that is navigation in progress. That is how you build a working relationship that lasts forever. And those are important. Those differences and those ups and downs are important in cementing your job.
What is a Srinath under extreme pressure? Sharper, slower, aggressive? What are you under extreme pressure?
It shows on my face. I am not a good poker player. Right. When I'm happy, I'm happy.
No, I was talking about what does it do to your thinking, not your expression?
Yeah. So thinking, how तेज सोचता हूँ मैं. So it's see, when I'm calm, I'm restless. So imagine when there is restlessness around, the speed only.
Your mind is on steroid.
Mind is on steroids and continuously doing plan A, plan B, plan C. What are the other options? But even at that time, I'm an optimist. So if there is a 2% chance to get out of that situation, I would take those chances. So yeah.
Do you think it is more difficult for optimists to admit of mistakes they make?
Optimists to admit that
a mistake that he or
I
she-
don't know about others. I can speak for myself.
Yeah.
Yep.
Because I did not admit to a mistake of a co-founder misalignment for 3 years.
No, I mean, yeah, I agree. For me also, initial days and years, it was hard to. अरे नहीं, वो हो जाएगा. It'll. I mean, you are pushing, and then when so yeah. So I've had fairly expensive lessons and learnings, and I've actually learned very, very hard. My strongest lessons have come from my failures than successes. Because success is ठीक है.
Very shortly.
Yeah.
Because you're always on to the next movement.
Correct. Yeah. You don't take a pause to reflect on your success. No?
Right.
Whereas failures you do.
Because it has a ripple effect.
Yeah. And initially you are like, ये क्यों हुआ? You are emotionally processing it. Then you actually process it and break it down very objectively, and
Right.
so yeah. So that's why. The downs have actually taught me more things than the ups.
Is there a down that you thought you will not recover from?
Many episodes. COVID wave 1 was a fantastic episode for us. So wave 1 we had a national lockdown, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know the exact numbers, but I was constantly looking at the bank balance of the company. Cash flows came down to like 0 those 3 months. So we'll have to collect money, and then we'll have to we have payables, and then there are fixed expenses. And the first 2 months, halat deke, and we still did not take any drastic measures as a because I mean we could not really process it on how long this is going to last and things like that. But then after June, when things came back up and running, so those 2 months were horrible. So I started imagining the worst on what would happen to us, to the company, to our business model, and all of that.
But did that significantly change the company? That COVID moment, did that teach you something which you would not have perhaps learned?
It cemented the ownership DNA that we that act like an owner runs deep in our company. That point in time, a lot of people pulled up, punched up their weights, right? And that continues to today. Like when there is a crisis, this place runs very, very differently. Or when there is a those are all things that add to the DNA of the organization that you're building, and this was certainly one such moment.
Before we get into the serious conversation around business, I would like to understand a little bit about where you come from, what was childhood like, a little bit about early days, parents, school, can
Sure, I
start
come
there?
from southern part of Tamil Nadu, Coimbatore.
I'm heading to Coimbatore tomorrow.
Oh, very good. It's a fantastic city. It's an entrepreneurial city.
Yes.
Um, and I did my schooling at Trichy. My father used to work for BHM, and I was a township kid. And it's a fantastic. I had a fabulous childhood. Township, BHL township is like a bubble. Yes, So all our parents would wear the gray and gray uniform and go to work. So we were all like very. So there is no ये बड़ा आदमी है ये छोटा आदमी है kind of
सब बराबर है.
like सब बराबर. And we all go to. There were 2 schools in the township. The choices today, like I worry too much about the which school to send my kid to. Back in the day, the decisions were simple. So there were 2 schools. You would go to one of them, right? And one was CBSE, one was state board.
Right.
So for some parents it's state board, some parents it's CBSE.
Where did you
So I went for a CBSE school, and so father would leave to office every day sharp 7:45, and every day sharp 5:45 to 6 o'clock he's back home. And I would cycle to school. It like 5-10 minutes from home. Come back home for hot lunch. Then go to school again, and then playground. Good friends, some of them, some of whom I'm still in touch with, and yeah, but and lots of study. There was a lot of focus on education, and it's not key. My parents would every day say study, study, study. I don't know how I became a studious kid. After a few years, I found a lot of my sense of I was not very good at sports. So my sense of gratification came from getting good marks in school or getting appreciated by teachers. So those were the early years of gratification, right? So that's how I became a studious kid. Have always worked hard and worked hard studying, worked hard playing chess and certain other games.
Chess.
Yeah. So chess was one game that I played for a very long time.
Study, good marks was validation.
Validation.
Do you come from a conservative family? Conservative not in ideology, but conservative in the way a day-to-day life functions.
Yeah, I mean that's you can say so. And education is important, and we didn't have. My father was very happy in his job, so he would talk about the thing that he did at work, and he would talk about this kids and this uncle and that uncle doing so. So it's like I said, it's a life inside a bubble, and it was beautiful.
When you were growing up, were you comfortable in, it seems that you were comfortable in a structured environment more than a chaotic environment. But from there to entrepreneurship, you seem to have chosen something completely opposite.
Yeah, at least childhood was work in a
Extremely structured, right?
it was very structured. Every day would look the same and kind of an environment, but it feels like eons away. It was very, very long back. Then I came to college. College was it was searching for that identity. So when I joined college, that time it was not. I somehow what gave me validation in school did not give me validation in college. Again, somehow my orientation was not getting good marks and getting good grades alone. It was, what am I going to do? in life.
What changed?
I think I was away from home and I was all alone, and I had lots of similar people having also in their similar age and similar stage in their life. So conversations around what they are going to do in life, and all of that shaped my college life.
Hmm. And what identity did you find out? An identity that you would like to live?
It's been evolving, and at least in college, I was a little bit of a socialist back then. Ran a club at IIT. It's called IIT for Villages. I found happiness doing what I was doing then. Would basically take a bunch of people to a village on the outskirts of Chennai, try to solve engineering problems that can actually deliver social impact. And for a while, thought I should I could do that only as my next job. That actually definitely had a say in my first job. So when ITC came for campus recruitment, in my interview, I asked the interviewer, ITC has a lot of does a lot of good work in agri-business division. I had read about the ESOPs and things like that they were doing. So I said I want to join in the agri-business division and I want to work in a rural area. The person on the other side of the table found that very interesting. It's like generally people don't ask this, and I said no. I'm very interested. Please let me know if I can be posted in a rural area because I want to apply my skills for social impact and things like that. So my first job at IPC was actually, I had a fantastic boss in Ras. He was the CEO of the Agri division back then. And generally, typically engineers from ITs are posted in a factory. But when I explained that I had this Kira inside me, she gave a nice assignment. He said, farm mechanization, go figure out, work with farmers and see if we can make life easier for them. So that's how I started my career.
Right. So college to ITC seems more like figuring out than building up,
Yeah, certainly.
right?
Yeah.
Uh,
Even first job was a lot of figuring out on me, right? It was not that I was not certainly clear on day zero that what I didn't have a grand plan. Like, okay, I'll work exactly for 5 years in a big company, then I'll work exactly for 3 years in two startups, and then I would be lying if I told you that. It makes for a great story, but that was not the case. It was a lot of figuring out to do. Um, but it was, I went with the flow. And for me, I had to like doing what I had to. That it's important. Like the people I worked with there. And for, I think, 2 years, roamed around a lot of villages, interacted with a lot of farmers, tried to understand the manual practices. Then started looking at technology. I started doing field trials of equipment. All of that was fun. So, and when work is fun or when you love what you're doing, you don't really count the hours you spend. You don't complain. You don't talk about work-life balance and all of that.
right. But can fun become work? Work can be fun,
Yeah.
but can fun become work?
Yeah, I mean, when you're very, very into it, fun can be. I mean, I enjoy coming to.
So I was just wondering whether you would also start becoming an actor or a painter or a film producer or whatever, because that's also fun.
उतना talent नहीं है. But like I said, I like hanging out with like artistic people.
Right, right. Were there from school, college, ITC, were there certain value systems that you developed which you still carry on in your life?
I think very early on I realized there are two types of people. There are like prodigal kids who are gifted, and I'd seen
It's like people also who do not need to put in like uh, hours of work but still achieve what they want to achieve. I was not that. So I always had to, I was the hardworking type. So had to once you know what you want to do. I don't shy away from working really hard. So and
that has worked multiple times in the past and continues to work till today.
So there is a gifted genius. No matter what you do, you eventually become successful. There is a hardworking genius, and there is a hardworking hustler. The probability of success is perhaps the highest with a hardworking hustler, is what my study, little bit of study says.
Right.
Where do you fit?
I
Are you a
think, uh,
hardworking genius?
I think you have to definitely combine that with some smartness. Sometimes when you are not clear on what you want to do, and you quickly jump into working really hard, that sometimes doesn't deliver the outcomes that they want to achieve. So it's also about the having clarity on sometimes that comfort zone is very important, and that is inner self questioning yourself. आपको क्या आता है? And what is and do you see yourself doing that for like a long period of time?
Can you explain that to me with your life's experience a little bit?
So started my career in B2B company. Started working with farmers, employees, customers. I've done all kinds of jobs. And like I said, my first job was a blessing in a company like IPC. Had an fantastic fair boss that I had. In those 5 years, I did multiple things. So I worked with farmers on this farm mechanization project. I did a lot of procurement, then supply chain management. Also had a stint in sales, B2B sales, handling global customers, and enjoyed every single process, right? And I also gave it my all. I was genuinely there was मुझे सीखना है.
उस समय पता नहीं था कि entrepreneur बनोगे.
No. So back in the day, I thought like IPC is one organization that has LIPO, right? So like the if you look at the entire CXOs,
All been with the company for 25, 30 years.
fantastic organization.
For that point in time, and I was like I said, I was enjoying my work, and I was also getting validation.
I was promoted like a couple of times, which happened really fast. So at that point in time, and I the then chairman Sir YC Deveshwar was a very charismatic leader. For me, he was like he was like my superstar.
Did you go to him just to meet when you started Zeco? Did you try to reach out to him?
No. So I think he fell ill and he
Passed away.
but I have a very strong affinity to the organization, and I once had a moment with Mr. YC Deveshwar. I was given an opportunity to present to the top brass of ITC. Okay, and I did a good presentation, and Mr. Director himself came to the stage and gave me a pat on the back, which was a
Sure.
I have a picture of it. I have it framed. It's on my study even today.
Wow.
That's a very special moment.
I'll quickly get into the early couple of years of Zetwerk. While you started as to build a SaaS business, in between a fundraise, you pivoted to becoming a marketplace. What changed at that moment? Though I have heard stories and read that you started listening to the market a lot more, but can you tell me exactly what changed where you thought that the PMF with a SaaS business would not be achieved? What prompted that pivot, and how would you define that as a moment which, if that would not have happened, you would have perhaps not been there doing this and this being it.
See, it was not one single conversation within the team or with the customer or with the supplier that defined that pivot from SaaS to a marketplace. Every single customer that we met at that point in time, yeah, they needed the workflows, they needed digitization. The ERPs that our customers were using were not really addressing, the outsourcing manufacturing use case that was there, but somehow it felt like organically it felt like solving a rich man's problem.
That's problem.
Yeah, so it was. I mean, the real pain point that everybody was talking about was they all had a static vendor network, and how can we have discovery? So we realized discovery was an important pain point. The second important pain point was um, the outsourcing of manufacturing was not reliable, right? So whether there are constant time overruns, constant cost overruns, constant negative surprises,
Delays,
and
bad
new
dispatch.
information, and specs changing at the last minute, and these are all things, and these are not small rupees thousands kind of orders. These are rupees crores kind of orders, and these negative surprises would cost our customers a lot of time, money, and big decisions.
But how difficult is it? SaaS is a very different mindset. Marketplace, though it is a B2B marketplace, is a very different kind of mindset. Manufacturing as an ecosystem where you are building a marketplace model, again, a slightly more different view or a different lens to
At
it.
that point in time, हम इतना ज़्यादा सोचे नहीं थे. We wanted to do right by the customer. We said if this is the most important problem to be solved करते हैं चलो. That's how, I mean, you make a beginning.
SaaS करते तो क्या होता? अगर SaaS में कंटिन्यू करते तो क्या होता?
I think we could have solved that problem also. I mean, there are multiple other companies today which offer fantastic SaaS solutions for this bit today. But the worldview that we developed talking to all our stakeholders was, I mean, how do you build a reliable supply chain? And that starts with somehow हमको लगा कि marketplace is the starting point.
But it's not sexy, na?
I mean, we never cared about. We didn't. We never cared about sexiness of the problem. That I mean, we find what the work we do sexy. There is sexiness is there in the purpose, the importance of the work that we're doing in our customers' minds, in our suppliers' minds,
Right.
and in the industry, the contribution you do to the industry. So that is sexy.
Zetwerk operating system. I know it in bits and pieces. Let me try to encapsulate it and tell me if I go wrong. Somebody comes up with a design. You take the design, look at it, create a cost structure around it, take it to look at your entire ecosystem, who can build, how can it be built faster. You take that, you procure the raw materials, you make the first prototype. The prototype goes for an approval. Once the approval happens, you go for a mass manufacturing. After mass manufacturing, there is dispatch and there is delivery. More or less, this is how the system is.
Correct.
Right? Now, when you move from marketplace, you wanted to manage this entire supply chain, right?
Correct.
What was broken in India, and what was the gap, and what was the opportunity that you saw as an entrepreneur?
So the opportunity we saw was, can we integrate? There are 100 moving parts which need to work in rhythm to deliver something predictably every time, reliably, right? And also, how do you provide transparency, visibility, traceability to your customer, right? And our inspiration was from, say, e-commerce or food delivery, right? आप बिरयानी मंगवाते हो on Swiggy or Zomato, and it's a 300 rupees order or 400 rupees order. You know exactly कौन सा रेस्टोरेंट में ऑर्डर जाने वाला है. देन आपको वो कार्टून आएगा, the delivery guy is going there and आपका खाना पक रहा है, and after that your खाना is picked up, and after that the rider is exactly on this route. So you know, so you feel safe कि मैंने मंगवा लिया. This is for a 300 rupees order. You're getting a king's treatment, no? As a consumer, you're getting such a value for your 300 rupees, right? In the manufacturing industry, crores of orders, 5 crore का order, 10 crore का order, 20 crores का order, buyers need to discover supplier, and buyer places the order. The lead time is not here 35 minutes or 40 minutes. The lead time here is 45 days, 60 days. And there are multiple parts here. So how do we bring all of this, build a unified workflow, and provide a complete, when I talk about transparency, visibility, traceability, it's the exact thing that you get in your food delivery ordering experience, right? Don't industrial customers deserve that? And the order sizes run at millions of dollars. And when you try to do that, when you try to deliver that boringly predictable experience, you build a name for yourself in this industry. And I wouldn't say we have arrived in life, and that's what we are building at Zetwerk. And our entire operating system, Zetwerk operating system or technology stack, is basically addressing all of this. So क्या होता है, drawing हो जाता है, buyer places a drawing, then we get the drawing, we estimate time taken, we estimate cost, then we need to purchase the raw materials. Then how do we help our suppliers purchase raw materials? Then you need to do production planning. What part gets done today, what part gets done tomorrow. Then you need to do QC, quality control, right? There are different types of quality control. There is quality assurance, which is a checklist. There's quality control, which is an inspection, right? And then there is shipment planning. And then there is final logistics. And sometimes customers may want even inventory management support, right? So that they can have a just-in-time delivery experience into their factories. So this is numerous operations. We not only do this numerous operations as a company for our customers, but we have also, over a period of time, digitized this operation, because the moment you digitize this operation, you can give a nice looking dashboard to your customer, and dashboard is peace of mind. That's what customers need. So they don't want to know on if the lead time is 60 days, on the 59th day, you know what, I'm going to take 30 more days. You want to know on the 5th day कि ये 60th day में आएगा या 65th day में आएगा. So even when there are negative surprises, get that information early, communicate that information early is
Right.
is what we do.
But were you trained, or how did you learn that these are the various moving parts during your engineering, or during when you were with Blackbuck, or when Amrit and you both were in ITC? Was it from cumulative learning?
One is,
Or
all of this requires you to embrace a lot of operations, right?
okay.
You can look at all of this and get overwhelmed. भाई इतना करना है क्या?
Yeah, because बहुत कुछ है.
Yeah.
मतलब फैक्ट्री चूज करना से लेकर रॉ मटेरियल चूज करना से, it's not one raw material.
Yeah.
Like let's
So there are a lot of operations. First is embrace all this up. For us, we had that DNA. We were operations. We don't डरते नहीं हैं from the scale and complexity of operations.
अच्छा लगता है scale and complexity?
That's the moat. That's the moat. I mean, इसको replicate करना मुश्किल होगा. So you put in several hundreds of thousands of person hours have gone into making this recipe provide customer experience which is boringly predictable, right?
Hmm.
So आप कल आके ये आराम से कॉपी नहीं कर पाओगे ना.
Hmm.
So that's the scale complexity of ops can also be a move for the company.
Right.
And from day zero, tech first approach when you take, so digitization runs in your DNA. Also, see, when you do distributed manufacturing, when you have like one big kitchen, which is like one big factory, सारा सामान एक बड़ा फैक्ट्री में बनता है, then okay, आप एक beautiful ERP लगा लो, you will get most of the information. Yeah, but when you work at several tens of thousands of factories, and when you're delivering 2 million parts, 3 million parts on a weekly basis, we did not have something ready-made. Otherwise, we have enough problems to solve here. We would have bought something if that was readily available. Right. Nothing was readily available, इसीलिए बनाना पड़ा. So we had to handcraft this whole operating system.
But when you started off, you always had that at the back of your mind कि VC money उठाना है. But on the face of it, this sounds like a non-scalable business. And I think VCs would also tend to agree with me on this, that it is a non-scalable business. You've scaled it. That is your ability and Amrit's ability. But how do you kind of convince stakeholders apart from yourself that this is a scalable business? I remember reading somewhere or listening to a conversation where you said that there was this first time you made 100 company Excel sheet, right? That how do you convince that this is scalable?
See, we get excited about not theoretical TAMs, theoretical addressable market. कोई
theoretical addressable market क्या होता?
आप एक मिंट का आर्टिकल पढ़ो या गूगल में जाके
गूगल सर्च कर लो,
कितना ये बिकता है करके चेक करो. राइट. We don't get excited by consuming secondary information around how large the market is. We get excited about grounds up conversations with customers on how large. So we got excited very, very early that the depth of the market or the depth of the problem that we were solving at that point in time, the company was very narrow. We didn't have several offerings. We were not into electronics. We were not
steel fabrication.
It was steel fabrication. That right. But just that one single category had amazing depth.
So how did you figure out the TAM of steel fabrication?
It's very hard for you to today figure out. But it's, again, who does steel fabrication? Who do they serve to? There are engineering, procurement, construction companies which are basically buying these. Who are these companies? These are companies like L&T, Tata Projects, etc. Okay, who are they serving? They are serving asset owners. Who are these asset owners? Can be a steel plant, can be a cement plant, can be a pharmaceutical plant, right? When somebody is putting a capex, right? So when it can be a brownfield capex, it can be a greenfield capex, or it can be just an upgradation, right? So that is when you need custom engineered steel fabrications, right? It can be a thermal power plant, it can be an oil and gas refinery. So then the EPC company is serving this. So we kind of knew the structure of the market, and we know who were the key players, and we knew exactly what their pain points were, and we knew the quantum of ordering that they were doing. So we had all of that information in front of us, and those numbers looked staggering, and these would run into. So we realized even if we capture like 2% of the market, 1% of the market,
it would be a large enough opportunity to
opportunity.
Right. You moved into becoming a marketplace. From there, you moved into managed marketplace, that entire supply chain. So why was it important? So whatever my understanding is that you wanted to take responsibility and ownership of the last delivery as well.
Correct.
I think somewhere that was also broken in the Indian manufacturing ecosystem.
Yeah.
Correct. But from marketplace to managed marketplace, was it a very tough decision? And
that was, we felt very confident. I mean, these were big decisions, but we took all of these decisions very early on. In the first 1 year, we kind of realized we have to take the first party risk.
Right.
We can't do, otherwise we did not have any skin in the game. When we are sitting outside the transaction, and then when we are connecting two people, and when we are trying to charge a commission on the buyer or on the supplier, we realize, see, the post-ordering project management, or because the lead times were higher and still there were a lot of back and forth that would go on.
Right.
We realized very early on, if you're sitting outside and trying to provide just information, it's not solving the problem.
And eventually the customers will go away.
Yeah.
Yeah, tell me something, Srinath. If I go to a manufacturer, let's say if I want to get a shirt made, if I want to go to a manufacturer and I speak to him, I give him that this is exactly the specs I need, this are the number of orders, etc. Today you might have that advantage of scale, operations, clientele, etc. But when you started, you didn't have this advantage, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Why would a manufacturer listen to you and not to me?
No, actually, for us, on the manufacturer side, on our supplier side, things were relatively easier. But convincing, because see, our customers are all very traditional companies, right? To convince a customer to place an order on us, because that day, those days, I mean, when we go to every customer, first question, अच्छा, Zetwerk, आप manufacturing company हो, आपका factory कहाँ पे है? We didn't have a factory to show for. Then कैसे बोल रहे हो आप manufacturing company हो? These were the kind of conversations early on. So it was a struggle to actually convince customers to place orders on us. And on the supplier side, the conversations were very different actually. So we were actually making them, the pitch to the supplier was capacity utilization, right? So you have capacity, you have a couple of anchor customers, and you still have large unutilized capacity, and
You get that to play.
and give us an opportunity. So you don't need to pay us any money. We'll sell. If we get any orders, we'll come to you.
If I look at the entire supplier ecosystem, what was the idle capacity that they were sitting on? And what is the idle capacity they are sitting on right now after the Zetwerk supplier relationship got built?
Typically, the goal is to become an anchor for your supplier, right? Like say, my father was running a metal fabrication facility in Trichy in Tamil Nadu. His anchor was one customer, BHA. When you have one single anchor, such a large customer concentration risk, what happens if your customer does well, you do well. If your customer doesn't do well, you don't do well. Like your fate is kind of hinged to the performance of your customer. So it is consciously telling suppliers that we see Zetwerk एक company नहीं है, right? But Zetwerk will be one buyer for you, one customer for you, but Zetwerk itself is very diversified. So we have multiple customers, multiple industries. So how do you really solve for being an anchor for your supplier is the real impact. Today we have multiple cohorts, right? So there are cohorts where there are suppliers who have actually put in a lot of capex because they're getting business from us. There are suppliers who look at as that second anchor. There are seasonal suppliers as well, because the 6 months there is work, another 6 months there's no work, they come to us. So there are different kind of
right.
But overall, the impact is utilization of your capacity.
Right. So does the order go as a Zetwerk order, or does the order go as Zetwerk on behalf of company X on behalf of company Y?
Simple. Zetwerk order. Okay. So we are the first party to our supplier. We are the buyer on record for our supplier. We are the supplier on record for our customer.
Got it.
Initially, we were having these worries about buyer-supplier relationship kya hoga and all of that. But later we realized we are actually solving two different problems for our customers and suppliers. We are not just being a broker and trying to cut a commission in between.
Right.
We are solving the problem of capacity utilization for our suppliers, and we are solving the problem of reliability for our buyers. So our buyers work with us not for one single supplier or one single project. They work with us on multiple projects. Similarly, for the supplier, they work with us for multiple customers.
Is this a large enough problem which is a global problem to be solved, or is it an India-specific problem that you're solving?
See, the fulfillment aspect of what we are doing is very, very India specific, because our fulfillment operations are broken. It's not it's not easy to procure logistics at scale at efficient cost, to purchase raw material from the big mills on time at the best price, getting priority loading, production planning. It's a big suppliers do it well. Small suppliers sometimes struggle. So the fulfillment stack is very India specific, but because we very early started building the complete fulfillment stack in house, there's a lot of empathy on the suppliers. So today, of course, we run large captive manufacturing operations as well, not just relying on third party suppliers. So there's a lot of empathy.
So when you say captive manufacturing, does the operating system go as a software module for captive operations? Is what you say?
So it's internal. Our
Internal.
operating stack is completely internal. We have not exposed any element of our operating stack. We have not tried to sell it yet.
Not as a SaaS business.
But we still see when the queues only getting longer. There's still lots more
How
things.
much can you, as a
I think it's a forever thing. I think even today, after 7 years of building, we still realize, a lot more build is still left. Maybe I'll feel the same after 5-6 years as well.
So actually, I was trying to figure out that is there an opportunity big enough for Zetwerk to become a $100 billion company with about $20 to $30 billion in revenue, public market, private market, irrespective, but a 20 billion-ish kind of a revenue business, global, commanding a valuation of $100 billion.
See, valuation, I don't know. The depth of the opportunity is immense. Our where to play choices today, which is energy or precision or industrials, are all fundamentally deep opportunities, deep spaces, and they are growing.
Right.
They're growing. And today we are also global. So we are not a single industry, single geography company anymore. We operate in multiple markets, and we operate in very specific industries, right, which are all growing at double digit year on year.
Right.
So I think we should compound for a long.
Your largest vertical is energy today.
Yeah.
Right? From steel, you have moved into consumer energy and so many other businesses that you have. How do you identify a new vertical to get into? And how are there verticals that you dropped off from the list?
For us, if you look at it, pivot has been all in the first 1-2 years. After that, no pivots. It's only evolution. Right? Where to play choices, capital allocation choices have continuously evolved.
They're evolving business.
But business model is not really kept changing. Right? But in the last 7-8 years, we've gotten into multiple categories, multiple sectors, and we have exited also multiple categories, multiple sectors.
What makes you move into a vertical? What makes you exit a vertical?
We don't like to keep doing this today. We are also large, so we have to be long-term intentional today on the choices that we make. But initial days has been very, very experimentative. What gravitated us to the categories were largely the size of the opportunity, the size of the market, the fragmentation of the market, and the pain point that we are addressing, is that real or not? Right? Like I said, the SaaS felt to us like a rich man's problem. We don't want to be solving, we want to solve core problems for our customers. So we felt like, so the problem that we are solving needs to be core for our customers, right? So it's the combination of these three things, largeness of the opportunity, fragmentation of the market structure, and how important is the Zetwerk value proposition, right? That is what gravitated us to all the categories that we went. Exits have been exit decisions have been nuances of the industry, right? So when you try to do multiple things, for us at one point in time, at least 20, 21, 22, felt like we were doing too many things as a company. At that point in time, we also thought of ourselves as a really horizontal manufacturing for X kind of a company. And so we can be manufacturing for steel, manufacturing for chemicals, manufacturing for apparel, textile kind of a company. But I think 21, 22 onwards, the realization has been, there's no dearth of market opportunity in the playing grounds that we were already playing in. So then why look at multiple places? Just go deep rather than going wide.
Right.
So that's been the
Energy is one area where you have gone really deep.
gone really deep. But that doesn't mean we stop experimenting.
Of course.
So the energy itself is an ocean, right? Where we are into renewables, we are into wind, to solar turbines.
Yeah.
Now we are thinking about energy storage. So it's vast, and within each of these market opportunities, the exact where to play choice and how to win strategy.
Mm-hmm.
Both need to. That's where we spend a lot more time today before jumping into it.
Energy seems to be becoming bigger and bigger, especially with the AI play. That is also an area that you really want to expand in, right?
Correct, absolutely. So
What is the thesis in that? And why am I asking you this? Is that if this is the new big bet, so if you could give me a little bit of understanding about the thesis play, that would be amazing.
So what AI is doing is it's making the power demand go up multi-fold. Because of that, even big countries like US are experiencing surge in energy demand. Second, what it does to your existing energy infrastructure. What does it do to your generation capacity? What does it do to your transmission capacity? What does it do to your distribution capacity? What does it do to your storage capacity?
Right. So that the entire infra layer.
Yeah. So that is when we look at that, that is exciting because it is a global problem. It is not that India good, so we can get it probably first time right. We are not built 40 years ago. There is a massive rebuild opportunity, right? Because the infrastructure is broken. It's not really solving for the today's needs. So the globality of this problem and the growth that the industry is having is a staggering numbers. And this is not going to be a short-lived thing. We think this is a multi-decadal opportunity. So we are excited long-term about this, not because the market is humming. There's a lot of noise right now.
Right. So let's not talk about theoretical TAM. What is the Zetwerk TAM of this market?
It's huge, yeah. We would run into multiple tens of billions of dollars for very specific opportunities. I mean, it's see when it's so vast, then usko number ka matlab kya hai? So it's huge, right? So whether it is solar, whether it is wind, whether it is energy storage, whether it is the transmission, distribution, storage, it's huge. And it's yet to play out. It's going to play out in front of our eyes for the next 10, 20 years.
Yeah, right. Will it be safe to say that you want to own the physical backbone of AI? As in, from a manufacturing...
We'll play our bit as a company solving for the hard supply chain that is yet to be fully built out. It is large, it is complex. For one company to own it all, it is not possible. It requires multiple specialist companies.
In this, which nodes matter the most? Is it the data center? Is it the energy infra? Is it the electric components that go into this entire thing? What nodes matter for you the most?
I think we start with broad electrical components, power components as an opportunity, right? Because the growth is tremendous, the capacity, the manufacturing capacity build out that needs to happen to serve this space is rapid. It is here and now. That is why you will see lead times of sourcing of any power component today are only growing with time, right? So that's the broad-based play with which we would enter. That is what we're doing today. But over a period of time, also get into very specific niches. Can be racking solutions for data centers. Can be very specific flooring solutions for data centers. Can be storage needs for a utility scale power plant, or storage needs for a data center. So we are grounds up imagining the solutions for the problems that the world is experiencing today.
Can it be can AI be a manufacturing moment for India? So as companies like Zetwerk or many others who build specialization in the manufacturing ecosystem around the AI infra, can India be a good
Certainly,
manufacturing opportunity?
we still lack the manufacturing depth as a country, right? There is very clear policy alignment, which basically is talking about the goal of our policy today is we want to build out all of these capacities and capabilities within our country today. It doesn't exist today, but it's getting built out rapidly. And we as a company are also playing a role to contribute to this massive capacity creation that is happening.
Great. If this thesis in and around AI, energy, that you so heavily bet on plays out, what kind of Zetwerk are we looking at 3 to 5 years down the line?
Multifold, right? So we are after 7 years, whatever scale we are in today, we are still growing the fastest that we have ever grown, at least in the last 3-4 years. This year has been a fast growing year, and next year also looks very promising. So if we compound at this rate, it can be multi-fold, and market is supporting this kind of a growth. It's not that we are a bunch of supermen trying to. So the market is there and it's growing, and that's what is playing out in terms of performance to our company as well.
Right. If you were 24-year-old, if you had 3 to 4 crore rupees seed capital, if you wanted to get into manufacturing, what are the 3-4 options you would look at today?
I would look at first IP driven manufacturing and not just build to print manufacturing.
When you say IP driven, can you just simplify that?
So for example, so there are two types of manufacturing, right? So one is the customer is an original equipment manufacturer. The customer has a design. The customer is giving your design to it, and which is a drawing, and you're looking at the drawing, and you need to invest in a CNC machine or a forging a hammer or whatever it is to basically do the manufacturing and supply. There is an opportunity there. It continues to be, but when you, I wouldn't play the capex game very early on. We've also not played the capex game very early on. Today, of course, we are in areas where we see capacity is lacking in our country. We don't shy away from being the first person in the room to commit that capex. But very early on, I would not do that. So, and I would not do plain vanilla, get the design from the customer and manufacture to print kind of manufacturing. But I would do my own engineering. It doesn't cost a lot of money to build IP. It takes effort. It takes multiple hundreds of man-hours to build an IP. But once you have a differentiation that gives you a moat, and how do you build that IP? Again, listening to the customer.
Right.
Like earlier, we were talking about your battery, which was
Right.
lasting only 30 minutes.
30 to 45 minutes.
That's a pain point, right? So then, how do you solve that pain point? Is
Also, it's in the energy space.
it's in the energy space,
Right.
battery storage,
Right.
Yeah.
So one is IP. The other one would.
Second,
So you have 4 crore rupees. So now you have to build a startup with 4 crore rupees. So
See,
one is IP and the other one.
niche. Start in a. So say the beauty lies in something that's not very obvious to the whole world, right?
Right.
So it is even within renewables today or energy today or the AI. You ask me a question: is your company trying to build this entire stack? One question is one company cannot physically build out the 4 VR team. Take like a cooling system for a AI data center. You can design a cooling system that requires 30-40% lesser energy than the conventional cooling system, and then you can build an OEM which can easily be hundreds of millions of dollars of revenue company,
Right.
or a storage energy storage technology for a very particular application,
Right.
Because there are multiple form factors.
Right.
Look at the utility scale power plant kind of a form factor, or a commercial and industrial kind of a form factor, or like a residential apartment kind of form factor.
So niches, go deep into it is what you would suggest.
Yeah, select a niche and do something IP driven. That does not require 3 to 4 crores. Gives you a very good head start to build something like this.
Right. Should I ask you an IPO question? If you are not okay with an IPO question, I wouldn't ask. Up to you.
Would avoid. Yeah, would avoid right now.
Okay, cool. Completely understandable. If you have are to look at yourself as an entrepreneur, and if Zetwerk is the last entrepreneurial journey that you are doing, what would complete that journey for you?
When I'm like 65, say, whatever, okay, pass forward.
It's an open-ended thing.
Fast forward 30 years, and when this company feels like a generational company, right? Okay, so what feels like a generational company? The company has a complete soul for Excel. The company is very well respected, and the company is nationally important. It's important for the economy, Today, you have multiple such companies which are important for you can't imagine Indian banking sector without a few companies. You cannot imagine the Indian infrastructure sector without a few companies. So when you imagine Indian manufacturing sector, and you can't imagine that sector without the contributions of Amazed by Zetwerk, that would be really fulfilling. And when the company has a soul of its own, it's not centered around you. It's not centered around a founder or today when you think about um, ITC or LIC kind of company, one particular figure does not come to your head, right? That company itself is an institution, right? And it'll take this lifetime probably, or even that's not enough to build that.
In 2014, I did a 5-hour interview with Mr. Raim Naik. The interview was scheduled for an hour and a half. And he was so passionate about manufacturing and infrastructure that he went on talking and giving me very deep details. And it went on for almost 5 hours. I do remember that one interaction, and it stayed with me for long.
Amazing.
Last question, Srinath. If there is a framework that you would want to give to entrepreneurs who are starting today, what would that framework be? What is that framework that we can steal from you and which can be of immense value to the ecosystem?
I use this phrase often, think demand backward.
not supply forward.
Mm-hmm.
Quite often, entrepreneurs make this mistake of they get obsessed with the solutions that they are building, uh, but come out of it. Look at how important or large is this problem, right? Um, and that motivation should come grounds up, right? What I mean by grounds up is uh, you have spoken to multiple real customers of that product or service that you're building, and your excitement has come from those conversations. That is, I think, number one. So thinking demand backward is thinking market first, customer first, right? And how meaningfully large is because sometimes what happens is entrepreneurs also jump into, I've also made this mistake, we jump into solutions very quickly and we start spending so much time, energy, bandwidth. And then after 4 years, I've had my friends, I mean, after 3, 4, 5 years of building what they built, burning so many hours, they've realized, oh no, this is, ये इतना छोटा होगा, मैं सोचा नहीं. You know?
I'm one of them, by the way.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, because you are, yeah, I mean, we are
Seem
who we are. So
we are very
you have
big
to be obsessed. You have to be romantically attached to the problem that you are solving. Otherwise, you are, I mean, there has to be an irrational element. Otherwise, entrepreneurship is not a rational choice for any shoe, right? So that is number one. Number two, earlier during the conversation, we spoke about complementarity.
Yeah.
I think it's important to it's a very long and lonely journey. So choose your partners very wisely, and it's important that your partner is not exactly your copy
replica,
paste.
a mirror image of you.
Yeah.
Right. But do you think that in this journey of entrepreneurship, we tend to somewhere not focus on family, children, parents? Do they take a backseat? And is that something that we should be mindful of entrepreneurs?
I'm blessed, great family, great wife.
No, I'm talking in general.
What I was trying to convey was when you have a great support system, it really helps. You don't think about it a lot.
True.
And it's a hidden superpower for you, right? And if that's not in order, then it doesn't help, right?
True. Right. Thank you so much, Srinath. I have a gift from a friend who's also an entrepreneur. There's this company called Nook, and
we know Nook really well.
So I have a small gift from Ghazal, who is my very dear friend and also the founder of Nook. So I will just pick this up. So this is for you, and there is one for Amrit also.
Sure. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Auntie, hi together.
Yes, I will say. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, it was lovely chatting. We spent, I don't know, almost 3 hours. But great learning. A lot of very interesting experiences.
It's a nice way to learn.